Beneath the calm exterior, the warm presence, the grounded steps of Taurus, there lives a quiet panic. A soft but constant hum in the background that says, what if it's not enough? What if it all slips away? Your soul came into this life to build, to protect, to grow beauty that lasts. But your shadow speaks every time something changes too fast, every time the ground shifts, every time you're asked to let go of something you've made sacred just because it's familiar. Your energy is designed to stabilize, to hold what others drop, to nurture what others rush past. But your shadow doesn't always know when to release. It confuses loyalty with fear, comfort with safety, and routine with control. You're so good at creating a world that feels peaceful, sensual, reliable. But your shadow grows when you begin to use that world as a wall. When you shut the blinds so nothing can surprise you. When you hold on tighter instead of opening up wider. Your relationships are built with deep care. But your shadow shows up when you become possessive. When you expect people to be predictable because unpredictability terrifies you. When you mistake emotional distance for betrayal because it feels like a threat to the bond you work so hard to preserve. You may stay in relationships long after they've stopped feeding you, not because you don't know how to leave, but because your shadow whispers that leaving means starting over. And starting over is unknown, and the unknown is dangerous. Your fear isn't loud, but it is persistent. It shows up in your habits, your rituals, your refusal to let something end even when your soul is begging for the space to begin again. Your childhood may have taught you that stability equals safety, that being needed equals love, that the one who stays the longest wins. But now your soul is asking for a new story. One where security doesn't come from the outside, but from the unshakable truth that you are whole, even in transition, even when you're not sure what comes next, even when you're not holding anything but yourself. In your work, your shadow shows up as fear of risk, reluctance to step outside what's proven, or staying loyal to systems that no longer nourish you just because they once did. You may avoid pursuing what truly lights you up because it doesn't promise a guaranteed outcome. But your healing begins when you trust that your worth does not depend on how steady the path is, but on how aligned it feels to walk it. Financially, you're gifted with a practical mindset, but your shadow may turn this into hoarding, withholding, or using money to soothe emotional discomfort. Not because you are greedy, but because money has become your symbol for safety. Your soul is learning that abundance flows when you loosen your grip, when you allow circulation, when you stop fearing lack and start trusting life again. Manifestation works for you when it is tangible, sensual, embodied. But your shadow may resist the energetic side of things, may try to control too much instead of aligning and allowing. But the universe responds to how relaxed your nervous system feels, not how tightly you plan. Spiritually, your shadow resists surrender, because surrender feels like chaos, like being untethered, like being asked to swim without knowing the water. But your soul came here to learn that grounding doesn't mean freezing, that roots don't prevent growth, they support it. You are safe to change, safe to move, safe to evolve. Socially, your shadow shows up in the need to be the rock, to always be okay, to hold everyone else while never admitting your own cracks. But your true power emerges when you let someone else carry you. When you release the belief that your value is in being unshakable. You do not have to earn love through reliability. You are already lovable even when you fall apart. Your shadow tells you to brace, to prepare, to hold everything together. But your soul is asking you to soften, to trust that letting go is not the same as losing, that endings are not failures. They are invitations. Your aesthetic may be beautiful, earthy, curated for comfort, but your healing begins when you stop hiding behind the beautiful and start showing up as the real. Your body thrives on rest, nourishment, rhythm. But your shadow turns those into compulsions when fear takes the wheel. Learn to feel when comfort becomes cage, when routine becomes resistance. Forgiveness for you is slow. Not because you are cold, but because your pain is rooted. And your memory is long. But your soul wants to free you from holding on to what no longer needs protecting. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is trusting yourself enough to move forward without bitterness. Taurus, your shadow speaks in fear of change, fear of loss, fear that enough will never feel like enough. But your truth lives in the part of you that remembers how to grow even after winter, how to open again even after being pruned. And how to trust that the life meant for you will never require you to cling, only to choose again. With love, I hope these words bring clarity and inspiration to your day, my dear stargazers. Remember, the stars guide, but you hold the power to shape your destiny. Now I'd love to hear from you. Did today's words resonate with you? Share your thoughts, experiences, or even your own cosmic insights in the comments below. Let's create a little community of starlight and support, because together, we shine even brighter. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily cosmic guidance. Until next time, keep dreaming big and manifesting magic.